What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Last Epoch video. Hope you're all doing super well. I realized that I've done a bunch of videos on this game now, and I forgot to talk about the Monolith system, which kind of blew my mind. I didn't realize I hadn't talked about it yet. I thought for sure I'd covered it. I think I've covered snippets of this system in other videos, but we're going to cover the full endgame Monolith system today in this video. Okay, so buckle up and lock in. There's some really important things to understand about what's going on here. What is the Monolith of Fate? This is the endgame system for mapping, just like in PoE or Nightmare Dungeons in Diablo 4. This is your endgame progressive mapping system. Okay, that's what it is. You're going to start at the very bottom here in the Fall of the Outcasts, and then you're going to keep progressing through each of these zones. Just think of each of these monoliths as a zone. And you get to that zone, and it has a certain level of mobs when you're doing the non-empowered monoliths, and you kind of work your way up. And you do a bunch of maps, or they're called echoes in this case, inside each of these zones. So you do a bunch of echoes, then you kill a boss. Then you do a bunch of echoes here, and you kill this boss. And you do a bunch of echoes, and you kill this boss. And you work your way up till you've done all 10 of them. Once you've done all 10 of the normal leveled monoliths, again, you can see their levels scale. So they start at 58, 62, 70, 80, 85, 90, 90, 90. Once you've done these last three, you unlock empowered monoliths. We'll talk about those in a minute, okay? But just understand, this is the late game farming mapping system. That's what you're doing in this. You're farming items in a bunch of different maps, and they're called echoes in this game. I'm going to keep trying to call them echoes just to keep it straight, okay? So let me just show you what it looks like, right? You get to this first one. This is the Fall of the Outcast. You click on this device here. And I'm going to show you empowered in a minute, but we're going to do the normal one, and you can see that it's going to look something like this. And you start like this, and you kind of work your way through, and as you do one of these echoes, it'll unlock further echoes as you go, okay? What's a good time to come to the Monolith of Fate? I would say level 52 is fine. I would say level, 52, I think, is like the perfect time to get into this system. And realistically, guys, if you look in the bottom left corner, I'm covering it right now, you can see that it shows my passive points and my idle slots right here. I am not done the campaign yet. I am not fully finished the campaign, which ends in this Majelka area in the Divine Era. I'm not done the campaign yet at all. You do not have to finish the campaign to unlock all your passive points and idle slots. You should probably finish the campaign, because when you do, it gives you +1 to all stats, which is actually a more significant bonus than you think it is. But there's no reason to finish the campaign other than to get that +1 to all stats. So your passive points and your idle slots, they will unlock before you even, they'll be fully finished unlocking before you get to this last point. And then at that point, you can just go to the end of time. And I would say around level 52 is a good time to start. This is a level 58 zone, so it'll be a little bit challenging at the beginning, but I promise you, you'll be able to handle it, okay? And then you can start kind of working your way up, leveling up as you go through each of these different zones, okay? That's when I think you should probably do it. Again, as I said, in order to progress through this system, you have to clear all 10 of these zones, and then you unlock the empowered versions. And again, let's take a look at this really quickly. This is kind of what it looks like. I don't know if I have the empowered version as well. It's the same size. I'll get to another one in a minute. But here's what the normal version likes, and normal version looks like. And then each of these little maps, they're called echoes, they have their own rewards, which is really cool. So you can see the symbol here. On the bottom right corner of the screen, it'll say the Echo Rewards. It's going to give me runes, timeline stability, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but it's going to give me runes. This one gives me experience, Tomes of Experience, which is really good early on when you're trying to level up. Really, really good. This one gives me affix shards, which is the crafting shards in the game, okay? This one's going to give me gold. This is experience. This one gives me swords. That's very, very cool. So it's got rare swords. That's a really good one to get as well. What you can do is each of these different little maps that you're doing, your echoes, they can give you specific rewards that you might be looking for. Maybe you're looking for a rare sword or something, and you're like, there you go, I can go find them. Maybe you're trying to pile up a bunch of gold. Maybe you're just trying to farm experience in the early game to push yourself into the higher levels. You can get and farm whatever you want to do, which is very, very cool. It's a nice little targeted bonus. So if you complete the echo and kill the boss inside the echo, you will get the reward, okay? I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. So that's the first part, okay? The second part is this green bar at the top. You can see this kind of filling up. I'm going to show you the quests in a second, but each monolith, so again, the monolith is this big zone right here. Each monolith has quests that you need to do. 3 of them, to be precise. Okay? These 3 here. This is a quest echo, this is a quest echo, this is a quest echo. As you do echoes, you will get timeline stability. That fills up this bar. You can see the stability right here, okay? As you fill up this bar, you unlock these quests. And then on the left side of your screen, you can click on the quest and you can go do the quest echo. The quest echo is just another echo that has a very specific scenario kind of going on, and you play it out and you kill the bad guy and then you're done. Once you've done this quest echo and then the second quest echo, you have your timeline filled up to the third one, you can do the third one, and that is a boss fight. Okay? Once you kill the boss in each monolith, you can progress to the next one. That's how you progress through. So you do the first quest, the second quest, the third quest is the boss, then you can go to the next couple of zones. You do the same thing in this zone. You do a bunch of echoes until you fill up that bar, then you kill the boss, and then you go to the next one, and you keep going until you get to the very end, okay? That's how you progress through each of the monoliths to get to the final one, okay? I will show you an example of that in a second. Now, the echo reward types, as I showed you, there's a bunch of different ones. Let me try and go to a different zone. I think ending the storm. There's a lot of different reward types, okay? Like a whole bunch. This is a bigger one. This is what it looks like. This is super cool. So look at how big this gets. This gets really big. I started right here on, then I kind of worked my way down, worked my way over here. You can see kind of where I went. And there's all kinds of different echo rewards, which is really cool. Again, gold, runes. There's a key there for the arena. And then there's some really cool ones. Later on, you're going to start to get some really, really cool ones that look like this. This has a unique or set pair of gloves. So you can start to, again, target farm pieces of gear that you're kind of looking for. Here's a unique looking one. This is a tower. It's a big beacon that's going to reveal a whole bunch of nearby echoes. So when you do this beacon, it'll reveal all these guys out here, which is really cool. So then you can start to see, okay, do I want to go this direction? And oh, there's some helmets. Maybe I need some helmets. I'm going to go this direction now. Or no, you know what? Shoot, I'm going to go over here and get this arena key, and then I'm going to move on from there. So lots of different things. There's armor, there's gold, there's daggers. There's lots of different rewards that you can get from echoes themselves, which is super, super cool. And I'll get to the empowered thing in a minute. When you get the timeline, as you progress further out from the beginning, you'll get more timeline stability, so you'll fill up this bar much more quickly. So you can see this very first quest, this very first map here, it's going to give me 10 timeline stability and up to 22 bonus stability. The bonus stability comes from just killing monsters inside of the echo or the map. Sorry, I keep saying them back to back, but I can get up to 22 bonus stability if I kill almost all the monsters inside of this echo. So, but then if we go further away, we're going to start to get more. This has 15 timeline stability. If we go even further, this has 20 timeline stability. So it gives you more bar to fill up here the further away you get from the very starting zone. So you want to keep pushing yourself further away because the rewards get better and the timeline will get more. You'll get more stability as well. Okay, let me get into one of the videos here. I'll give you an example of an echo really quickly here. Echoes are very fast, okay? They are about, I would say when you're first starting out, you're looking at something like, you're looking at something like probably 3 minutes maybe per echo or per map, okay? As you get much quicker, you're going to start get that down to like maybe 2 minutes and under 2 minutes eventually. You're just going to be cruising through. But this is an echo here. I want to show you something really quickly. So you can hear, once you kill a certain number of monsters in the echo, it will reveal where you need to go. Killing them. There you go. You heard that little noise in the background? That little ding. Now I've got this white arrow here that's telling me exactly where I need to go on my minimap. So now I can make my way down this way. I immediately start beelining it for this so I can get all the way down here. And we get down and there's an objective we're going to have to do. Unlike, it's not like Diablo 4 where there's like multiple objectives you have to do per echo. There's usually just one objective. Here's my objective. I have to click on this well, and then I have to defend like an assault. There's a little event that spawns. All these Wengari start spawning, and they're attacking me. Once I get through them all, I end up defeating the echo, And that's the end of that. There we go. Echo conquered. I get a little reward, and then I hit my T button, open my portal, and then the actual, like, the reward I just got at the end of that Echo, the gloves that fell down, that was just a random chance to get those gloves, okay? The Echo reward is going to be this little ball in the middle, so I press this. That's going to be whatever the Echo reward was. It's irrelevant for my character at this point. And then there's always a big chest that you get as well. Always going to be a big chest. And that was the Echo that I conquered right there. And that's just one example. So you always get your Echo reward that was on the map there, and then you always get a big chest as well. Remember that you're going to get both those things. And then there's different types of Echoes. So what you just saw there was a sort of regular type of Echo that is just an objective. It's like kill a bunch of monsters, then you go down and you do a little defense thing, and then you're done. This is a different kind of Echo. It's just a random chance for it to spawn. This is kind of like a little waves and waves of monsters coming to kill you. You just defend yourself against the waves of monsters. There's also shrines in here that are going to buff you. You kill a bunch of monsters, and then eventually you will conquer this again. This Echo should only take you about 2 minutes as well. Every single Echo that you're going to be doing should only take you about 2 minutes to complete, because it's very, very quick. And that's what's awesome about this system. You can just fly through all these Echoes at a breakneck speed, and you can just get to the next one. There we go. I did it. Get my little reward. That one actually had a decent reward for me. I'm going to go pick up that axe. There we go. Now I'm on to the next one. So you can see how quickly you move through the little Echoes. So this tower actually revealed to me that there's a special Echo over here. This is called the Shade of Orobyss. This is a special boss fight that only happens inside of the Echoes. I'm going to show you this now, okay? So this is super cool. And this also is going to reset the timeline web. So you can see how big my web has gotten. This is going to actually reset this once I kill this boss. So this is a special boss. He only shows up as an Echo inside of, like, he's a map boss, essentially. He's not the big Monolith boss. This is a special boss, separate from that. He has his own boss fight, and he actually has a bunch of his own abilities. So he's really, really cool. He has about 12 different abilities that he can use, and he will pick 3 or 4, I think, random abilities from his, like, arsenal, and he uses them on each different boss fight. So there's different abilities that you're going to end up seeing. Every time you fight him, it might be a different fight, which is very, very cool. This is an awesome boss fight. I love this boss fight. Once you kill him, he has a unique pool of drops that only drop from him. You can't get these drops any other way. I just got the ring once I killed him. So if you have items on this guy that are important for your build, you're going to need to farm him. The Siphon of Anguish is one of those items, okay? There's no other way to get it other than to farm him. Okay, so that's the Shade of Orobyss. That's kind of what the different Echoes look like. And then you can see once I click on my map device again, my Echo device, it's reset my timeline now. So it took me back to square one, and I can go back out again. So you're basically going to want to do that multiple times once you get to the empowered monolith. So very, very cool. Let me show you the boss fight stuff and how to do all of that. This is very important. So right now, I'm in the first quest Echo for a zone. So we're getting the first quest done. This is a very specific scenario. It's like kill a bunch of skeletons, and some rare skeletons are going to go down here and kill this guy. Yada, yada. It'll show you where your objectives are. You can see it blinking on the map there. I needed to come down here, and there was a guy I thought I had to kill. I think I killed him right here. There we go. Then we go up to this part, and there's this little invasion by the skellies. Once again, I got to kill them all. Once I kill them all, I unlock this final zone. This is a rogue mage. I'll talk about him in a second. Here's the final little sequence here. I got to kill this outcast bone thing. There. Once I kill it, we're good. And then I end up killing this exiled mage as well. I will talk about him in more detail in a second. Okay. I finished this quest. I check my map thing, and you can see I got a check mark here now. The first quest is done. I'm on to the second quest, okay? It's the Majelka Streets. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to get it done, okay? Click on it, hit enter this Echo, and I don't know why I did that. Click on it, enter the Echo. Come on, Zuko, you can do it. Here's the second quest. We're on to the second quest. More skeletons. The quests do have a bit of lore behind them. They are tied to the zone that you're doing it in. So it's always going to be the same kind of theme. This one is, of course, the Imperial era, and it's a bunch of skeletons. And eventually I'm going to end up fighting a big abomination boss, which is coming up next. You're going to see him in a minute. We get through this echo. We kill a whole bunch of skeletons. Yada, yada. There's a final skelly boss at the end here. He dies, and then we're done. And we go into the next one. Again, we finish with the quest, and you can see now there's 2 check marks here. Now I have the Altar of Flesh. The third quest echo is always the boss. And remember, you have to fill up this bar to make sure that you've actually unlocked it. So we click on the Altar of Flesh. We enter the echo. This is the boss fight, okay? We're going to go in here. This is the big abomination boss fight. He spawns in the middle. Again, very skeleton-themed. And then in order to kill this boss, they have specific mechanics that you have to obey. This was kind of glitching out my melee attacks, but on this boss fight, he has 4 soul vessels that are keeping him alive. You have to kill the soul vessels first, and then you can go kill him. So we're on the bottom one here, and then we're on the bottom one here, and then now we have access to the boss. We can actually kill him now. The zone also fills up with a bunch of damage over time stuff. He's actually very, very dangerous on the higher levels, but I'm just showing you the entry-level boss fight. This is why it doesn't look so hard. I'm way over leveled for this. I just wanted to show you guys. Okay, this is the abomination. Once you kill him, you are going to get access to the next couple of timelines, of course. I actually had a prophecy going as well, so I fulfilled a prophecy by killing him, which is super cool. I'll talk about prophecies in a second at the very end, because that's an important part as well. Prophecies. So you can see we've done all 3 of them now. Oh, did I skip back to this? There we go. And we got a blessing. I'm going to talk about this in a second. We now have a blessing to talk to. Why does it do that? Okay, there we go. So now let's look at this really quickly. When you kill a boss, I do this little timeline thing, yada, yada, and then you get to choose a blessing. Blessings are really cool. This is a whole system that gets introduced into the Monolith system, okay? This is the second system on top of the first system. This just gives you a buff. It gives you a generic buff. You get to choose between 3 different blessings. I have unique drop rate here, and then I've got the increased glyph drop rate, and then the third one is increased ornate idol drop rate. So again, if you're looking for specific items, maybe your idols really suck and you need to get better idols, this is a great blessing for you to take. If you want the other one, you can take the other one, yada, yada. It's up to you what you want to pick. You pick whichever one you want. You can also keep the current blessing that you already have, because you can run this multiple times. You can get different blessings, just like a random assortment. I'm going to choose the unique drop rate one, and then I confirm my selection, and there we go. Now I have that blessing. What the blessings end up doing for you is they end up being permanent buffs to every map that you're doing. Every single echo that you do in any of these monoliths, you will now have a permanent blessing that is buffing you in this way. So this is truly like a third layer of character customization. What do I mean by that? Well, the first layer of character customization is your build. Whatever your build is going to be, whatever your skills are, okay? The second layer of character customization is the gear that you have on. And as you scale that gear, as you get better and better and better, it gets better and better. This, to me, is the third layer of character customization, but it only counts for you when you're inside of this Monolith Echo system, the endgame mapping system. But these buffs are permanent, and they affect you no matter where you go inside of this Monolith system. So I have 41% critical strike chance no matter where I am, not just in that monolith, but in all the monoliths. I have increased helmet drop rate. I have dagger drop rate. I have health regeneration, which is really good for my build. I have critical strike avoidance, which is one of the best defensive stats in the game. I have physical resistance. I have shard drop rate, and I have fire resistance. So all of these things apply to my character no matter where I am in the Monolith system. So it really becomes part of your build. If you really need some fire resistance, you can go get it from the Spirits of Fire. If you need critical strike avoidance, you can get it. If you need health regeneration, if you need critical strike chance, there's a bunch of other blessings you can get that do different things. It becomes a part of your build in the end game, okay? It's very, very cool that you can do this. So you're going to want to farm the blessings, and then obviously, as I've been saying, once you've completed all of these monoliths at the regular level, you get to run to this middle platform and unlock empowered monoliths. This is very important. Empowered monoliths make every single zone, every single monolith now is level 100. Because remember at the beginning we started, this was 58. It is now level 100. This was 62. It's now level 100. So now you can farm any one of these monoliths, and they're all going to be level 100, which is huge. This is perfect because now we can go farm each individual zone for specific items for our build. For example, right now, I am in the Ending the Storm monolith. I'm going to choose the empowered one, but look at down here. This now has an exclusive Echo reward. In this timeline, rewards can have... in this timeline, Echoes can have rewards that grant unique or set gloves. So if I click on the empowered, you can see I've already got unique and set gloves right here. So, and there's other unique and set gloves up here. So if I need to farm a unique pair of gloves for my build, I need to farm this timeline, this empowered timeline. That's what I need to do. It gives you an extra sort of shot at those gloves. If I want something else, let's say I want to go to Fall of the Empire. Let's see what this one has. This has unique or set belts, which is really cool. I don't think I've explored this enough to sort of see them yet. But as you explore this timeline, you're going to have a chance at getting those unique set belts. Let's go to the Spirit of Fire just to see what's here really quickly. Spirit of Fire one has unique or set boots. So again, there are targeted, you have the ability now to target farm specific pieces of gear, which is really, really, really cool. The other thing that's important to understand, every boss fight in each monolith has unique drops that only drop from them. You can't get them any other way. For example, the Age of Winter boss is Herod. He's the big deer-looking dude, okay? You have to fight him. I just fought him a minute ago. I got this item from Herod right here, the Call of the Tundra. It only drops from him, and it was really essential to my build. So I had to go farm him like 3 or 4 times in order to get this item. But now that I've got it, I'm very excited. Unfortunately, it has 0 legendary potential, which is a whole other conversation. But that's what you can do in the end game. You can find items that are in specific zones, and you can farm those items. There's a tool that I would recommend that you guys use. This is the Last Epoch database site. I will link it down below. You can find specific items that you are looking for, okay? Ones that are going to be really important for your build. So, for example, let's type in fire damage. I'm going to get rid of the basic stuff. Here is all the fire damage items that are in the game, okay? There's Calamity, right? Let's say you want to farm Calamity. For whatever reason, you're doing an Ignite build, okay? And you want to farm Calamity. This is your item. This tells you exactly where to farm it from. You need to target farm the Black Sun timeline, and then you need to do an Echo that has unique or set helmet Echo reward. So then we go back to the game. You can see the Black Sun is down here. It's this one. So we're going to teleport there right now. I'm going to do the empowered version, okay? And then I'm going to try and find an Echo that has unique or set helmet. That's what I would do. I would go farm this, and that would help me find the Calamity item, okay? This is exactly how you can farm certain items. If you look at the Sunforge Great Helm, again, timeline to farm the Black Sun. Once again, you're there. If you're looking at Wings of Argentinas, this is a very good melee fire damage chess piece. You need to go farm the Stolen Lance. It's actually a drop from God Hunter Argentis in the Stolen Lance timeline. That is over here. You go over here. And then he is the final boss. He's the final boss from this. So you'd need to go farm him. Yeah, I can almost farm him actually in the regular monolith level. But that's what you would need to do if you want this. So go to this site, check out all these different items, and figure out exactly where to get them from. That will help you target farm gear for your build. It's really, really a crucial tool. I will link this down below in the description. You can click on it and start farming pieces of gear that you want for yourself, okay? All right, guys, the last thing I just forgot to mention that I want to make sure I cover here is that there's a scaling modifier in the endgame system that's called corruption, okay? So in this monolith system, you can see once you get to empowered monoliths, you're going to be getting 100 corruption baseline. And then as you kill bosses, as you do the boss fights right here, in each different monolith, you're going to increase corruption as well by getting these things called Gaze of Orobyss. So it says you gain 1 Gaze of Orobyss when you defeat a boss in the quest echo. And then you take this Gaze of Orobyss and you go and you fight the Shade of Orobyss, the boss fight I showed you earlier. And then when you kill the Shade of Orobyss with this Gaze, it increases corruption on the whole. It just makes this number go up. Corruption simply makes the monsters harder, but the loot way better. So you can scale this up to 300, 400, 500, 600. I think people are going up to like 800 corruption. Basically, you can get really, really, really high. And this is the end game, knob that's getting turned. That's just getting dialed up. So that's how you scale everything into the end game. It makes everything a lot harder. You can see the modifier in the bottom left here already is increasing the monster health and damage by 64%, right? Which is kind of insane. But for the player modifier, it increases item rarity by 74% and increases my experience gain. So this helps you level up and get all the way up to level 100 and at a much more reasonable pace, but it also is going to increase the monster difficulty. So I just want to make sure I mention that. Corruption is the last and final thing that you're going to be scaling into the empowered monoliths, into the late game. It's going to make everything harder, but everything better, okay? The very last thing that I'm going to talk about is the prophecy system. The prophecy system from the Circle of Fortune. I would highly recommend that everybody take Circle of Fortune. You can get these prophecies, and you can get prophecies that are basically going to drop from the monolith itself. You can see right here. This is it right here. The boss that I just showed me killing, the Death of the Abomination. I have a prophecy to go kill him. He's in the Fall of the Outcast timeline. So again, if we look down here, he's the final boss in the Fall of the Outcast timeline. If I kill him, I will get 3 exalted jewelry. And you saw in the video that I showed you there, it actually, I showed you a prophecy being fulfilled, which is super, super cool. Let's get to the very end here. Once we kill him, right at the very end here, once I kill him, it shows the prophecy being fulfilled. At the top of your screen, it'll say it. Boom. That drops all this stuff. All this extra gear that dropped, that is just from the prophecy being fulfilled, okay? And the ring that I got was a unique ring that only drops from him as well. So prophecies are really, really cool. You can get a bunch of prophecies that are guaranteed to hit inside of the monolith system, and that's another way to help you target farm gear, which is, again, what this entire system is all about. You did see me killing an exiled mage. It is really important, I would say, to try to find the exiled mages and the chests when you're doing this system, because they drop really, really good items. So when you're in one of these maps, these echoes, there's a chest right there. Look, I was so lucky. You want to find these chests because they always drop. Basically, they're always guaranteed to drop something really good. There's a Rune of Ascendance. The chests are different every time. They're not always going to be the same, but they have, they just always have really, really good drops. And the exiled mages also have really good drops. I would highly recommend seeking out an exiled mage as well. When you're on your map, you'll be able to see them. He's probably up this way. Actually, no. He's probably the opposite way. We'll try and find one really, really quickly here. I don't want to take too much more time. But they are really, really good to fight. They always have decent drops. Sometimes the exiled mages, they'll drop their experimental items, which of course are very good. But even beside the experimental items, they can drop like exalted experimental items. They can drop all kinds of different runes. They can give you runes of research, which are really good. There's all kinds of good reasons to farm these guys and to also farm the chests. Just going to go as quickly as I can. I think they're probably down here. Nah, we're getting unlucky. Back the other way. Excuse me, sir. But yeah, they're always worth farming, in my opinion. I don't know that they always show up in every single time, every single echo that you do. I don't think that they are always guaranteed to show up, but there's a very, very high chance of them showing up in your maps, in your echoes. I just keep saying that interchangeably. Let me just kill this thing really quick. Okay. Just going to try and find him really quickly. That's the Echo conquered. Oh, we got a legendary. Or a unique. Sorry, not a legendary. It's actually a good sword for me. Oh, it doesn't have any legendary potential. Yikes. Let's check this last area over here, see if he's over here. That is a shrine. We might have just got unlucky and didn't get him in this map. But the point is, they do show up very, very frequently. There was one in the other map that I was showcasing for you guys. And they're very good. They have good items, worth farming in the end game, worth trying to track them down. It's not always worth it to spend extra time inside of an echo. In fact, it's usually not worth it to do that. But if you have a chance of finding that mage, then it's definitely worth it. Unfortunately, we got unlucky there and didn't get him. There's my Tomes of Experience. So yeah, that is the monolith system in a nutshell, guys. I know that was a long video, but I just really wanted to make sure that you understood everything. Get here in the early game, like around level 52, progress your way through the monoliths, kill all the bosses by doing the quest echoes, get them all dead, and then unlock empowered monoliths, and then you can start to target farm gear for your build. Each of these monoliths has a boss that has unique drops that are very, very valuable, so you have to go farm them, and each monolith itself has an empowered version of itself that is going to have certain items for you that you're going to want to target farm as well. Again, each of them have their own exclusive echo rewards, so make sure you farm those. Make sure you get your build going. Go fight the Shade of Orobyss. He's a really, really cool boss fight as well. He has his own unique drops. And then just get all the items that you're looking for. This system will help you find all the items that you're looking for in your build, basically. You don't even really need to go anywhere else. The dungeons are very good for that, but this system in particular is incredibly strong for that. I hope that helped you guys. I know it's very long. Just skip around to the parts that you want to get to if it's way too long for you, but I hope it really helps some of you guys understand the mapping system for Last Epoch. It is really, really good. It's going to help you get all the items that you're looking for. Very awesome. So thank you guys so much again for watching. I love you all. I will see you in the next one.